For 3,000 years, one civilization ruled the river Nile. It built mountains of stone, worshipped 100 gods, and buried its kings in gold. It lasted longer than the time between Cleopatra and today. This is the entire story of ancient Egypt, from the first farmers to the very last pharaoh. I'm Thomas. Our story starts not with a king, but with a river. Every year the Nile flooded, leaving black, rich soil along its banks. In a desert of endless sand, this thin green ribbon was a miracle. Farmers learned to tame the flood, and food became plentiful. Villages grew into towns, and towns into two rival kingdoms. Then, around 3100 BC, one king united them all. His name was Narmer, and he wore the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt. For the first time, the Nile Valley became a single nation. The age of the pharaohs had begun. Along the river, ordinary Egyptians lived surprisingly well. They fished, farmed, brewed beer, and traded in busy riverside markets. With deserts on both sides as natural walls, Egypt stayed safe for centuries. It became one of the richest, most stable places in the ancient world. 500 years later came an age of unimaginable ambition. On a plateau called Giza, the pharaohs decided to touch the heavens. The Great Pyramid took over 2 million blocks of stone, some weighing as much as an elephant. It was built by skilled, paid workers, not slaves, as legend claims. For nearly 4,000 years, it stood as the tallest structure on Earth. Beside it crouched the Sphinx, guardian with the body of a lion and the face of a king. These were not just tombs, they were machines to launch a pharaoh into the afterlife. To the Egyptians, their king was a living god. The Egyptians were obsessed with living forever. To survive death, the body had to be preserved, so they perfected mummification. Organs were removed, the body dried with salt and wrapped in fine linen. Tombs were packed with food, treasure, and spells to guide the soul into the next world. As centuries passed, power shifted south to the great city of Thebes. Here the Egyptians built temples on a scale never seen before. The Temple of Karnak grew for 2,000 years into a forest of giant stone columns. Its great hall could swallow an entire cathedral. Priests here grew so rich they rivaled the pharaoh himself. The Egyptians covered their walls in hieroglyphs, picture writing of gods and kings. They believed a name written in stone could live forever. And they worshipped a vast family of gods, from sun god Ra to Osiris, lord of the dead. Then came Egypt's golden age, the new kingdom, an empire stretching into Asia. Fearing tomb robbers, the pharaohs now hid their graves in a secret desert valley. In 1922, one tomb was found almost untouched, that of a boy king, Tutankhamun. Inside lay a solid gold mask and treasures beyond imagination. And he was only a minor pharaoh. Imagine what the great ones took to their graves. Egypt was ruled by warrior kings, and by Hatshepsut, a woman who became pharaoh. She brought peace and gold, and built one of the most beautiful temples ever made. The greatest of them all was Ramesses II, who ruled for 66 years. He carved his own giant likeness into a mountain at Abu Simbel to last forever. Ramesses fought the largest chariot battle of the age at Kadesh, then signed the first peace treaty in recorded history. He built more temples and monuments than any pharaoh before him. Under his rule, Egypt was rich, feared, and at the very height of its power. But no empire lasts forever. Slowly, Egypt was conquered by Persians, then Greeks. A new capital rose on the coast, Alexandria, with its famous library and lighthouse. Its last great ruler was Cleopatra, brilliant, charming, and dangerous. She allied with Rome's most powerful men to save her kingdom. But when she lost, Egypt fell to Rome, and the age of the pharaohs was over. For centuries, the meaning of hieroglyphs was completely forgotten. Then one carved slab, the Rosetta Stone, held the same text in 3 scripts. It became the key that let us finally read Egypt's 3,000 years of records. Suddenly, the silent stones could speak again. Yet Egypt never truly died. Its pyramids still stand, its temples still awe us. 3,000 years on, we are still unlocking its secrets. A civilization that built for eternity and, in a way, achieved it. From a flooding river to an empire of gold, that was ancient Egypt. Want a topic covered, or have a question or some feedback? Tell me in the comments. Subscribe and follow Gemback for more.